Hello, my name is Kyle Segura. I'm a kinesiology student here at Sam Houston State, and I'm going to be teaching you how to do a gymnastics side-to-side cartwheel. So this move is going to be orientation-wise going from lateral, so side to side, instead of going forward and back. Um, so for the preparation phase, the athlete's going to orient themselves face up to the instructor. They're going to plant their feet shoulder width apart, and then this, to keep a steady athletic balance, they're going to have a slight bend less than 30 degrees in their knees and a slight bend less than 30 degrees in their hips. Their core is still going to be engaged, and then your shoulders and your chest are going to face forward. Face is going to face forward, and then for the arms and hands, you're going to have them straight up above the head, and they're just going to be ready to plant. So the preparation phase helps you set up for the move, and this is kind of what's going to get you ready for any kind of movement with the skill. So it's very important part to kind of focus on and make sure that the athlete is setting up correct. Next, we have the execution phase. This is where we're going to get the actual movement from the athlete. So in that same stance, they're going to have their athletic stance, bend in their knees, bend in their hips, core engaged, and then hands all the way up. They're going to bend in the coronal plane, bending at the hip towards the side. And then this is where they're going to plant that first arm. So the right arm is going to be the first one to plant. That one's going to be about 4 to 6 inches away from the right foot. And then in the same motion, the left arm is going to go to plant about shoulder width apart from the other hand. So now in this part, we're going to be doing the weight distribution and the weight transfer. So from here, the weight distribution has been on the lower part of the body. Now we're going to be transferring onto the upper half of the body. So now that the second hand is planting, in that same motion, left hand planting on the ground, the legs are going to kick up. The left leg is going to kick up to cause momentum, and the right leg is going to follow. The legs should be straight up above the head, and this will be the transfer of weight onto the upper body. From here, the athlete still wants to keep their posture straight. So the hands and the arms are going to be fully extended. The palms are going to be on the ground flat. And then the core has to be tight. And then you still want to keep your legs as straight as possible. This movement is going to be still fast, so you're not going to be holding the weight too long, but you still have to get it above your body. Next, the athlete's going to kick that leg over, and they're going to try to plant it the same distance that they planted their hands on the ground. So about 4 to 6 inches away from the hands, and that left leg is going to plant first. Now that once the left leg's been planted, the right leg's going to follow, and just like the other weight distribution or weight transfer, the athlete's going to transfer their weight back to the lower half of their body. So spinning over, they kick that foot over. The athlete plants both feet, and as they plant both feet, the next movement is going to be the follow through. The follow through is a very important phase of the skill because it is the actual recovery phase, and this is how the athlete finishes the skill. Finishing the skill is always important because if you don't finish right, it can lead to some injuries, and it can lead to the skill being done incorrectly. In gymnastics, this can be points taken off from your whole routine, or it could be other disqualifications. Once you do get those feet planted for the follow through phase, you're going to remove your hands from the ground and still bending in the coronal plane. You're going to straighten your body back up, return those knees and hips back to a less than 30 degree bend. That's going to keep you in an athletic stance. Core is going to be engaged, and to finish through, the athlete's going to have their hands all the way up. This is how you finish a gymnastics side-to-side cartwheel. So for this instructional video, I'll be teaching a third grader, which for volunteer is obviously going to be other than third grader. So for this one, they're going to face up with the instructor. So facing me, preparation phase, you're going to have that slight bend in their knees to keep the athletic stance. Same, less than 30 degree bend in their hips. Core is going to be engaged. Shoulders are facing forward. Face is facing forward. Arms are going to be straight up. And then this is what's going to prepare them for the movement. Now for this, in teaching third grade, I'm not going to be able to go through the same steps that I was going through before, so I'm going to have to kind of break it down in a simpler way. So this one, we're going to be bending up the hips to your side. I'm going to try to touch your toes on the side. How much you want to just punch your hand out when you can. So bending over, touch the ground with your hand. Keep both legs up. So you're going to keep both legs up and then touch the first hand out. And then in the same motion, you'll kick with your leg and toss your other hand under. So there you go. So we just want the weight transfer is good. What you're supposed to do is kick those legs up, but in this I'm kind of going really slow. So we're gonna kind of or speed this up a little bit. So bending the hips, same motion. You're gonna be touching the ground, kicking the legs out. So for the rest of the execution phase, the athlete has their hands on the ground, and then the feet are going to kick above the head. Now the legs are going to be kicking over the head and landing near the feet. So this is where you're going to get that this thing 46 inches away from the hands, where the feet are going to be planted. So for that one, that's perfect. The legs landing not too far from the hands. Yes, it is still in front of the hands, but it's still varying in this stage. So the rest of the execution phase is completed. Now we actually just do a follow-through phase. So in the follow-through, we're going to be starting from hands planted to the legs being planted as well. So this is all one simultaneous motion. But as those legs plant, the athlete is going to be kicking, they're not kicking, but they're going to be swinging their arms up and aiming with their arms in the air. Good. Do you have a question?
I do.
What's up?
What position are you going to start?
So we still have the same purpose. So you're going to have to listen to that slight bending your knees, the very slight bending your hips. Core is going to be engaged. You're going to be facing your shoulders and face. And then your arms just like you're going to bend, your arms are going to be straight up. So I want you to bend just like this.
Okay. So essentially, I'm still doing the same thing, just landing exactly that sort.
Yes, yeah. So once you come back up from your arms, you're going to be standing back up in the same position.
I understand.
And perfect. And that's how you perform a successful gymnastics cartwheel and also explain it to a younger age, such as a year.
In this portion, we will slow down the 3 attempts that the athlete attempted and go ahead and try to determine the differences between each and how it got better from the first trial to the third trial. Attempt to teach another athlete on how to do a cartwheel would be to look at how the athlete performed the skill and going through the checklist. So in these 3 attempts, you see the athlete progress as he continues to learn the skill and progress with it. So the first attempts, obviously, you see kind of a weary kick over the head with the feet, and then same with the second attempt, still kind of a weary kick over the like momentum swing with the feet over the head. And then as you get to the third trial, you do see him able to actually trust himself, kicking the feet over the head and able to land back onto his feet after transitioning his weight from lower body to upper body. And that's another great thing that he did do, was he was able to learn from transitioning weight from lower body to upper body and back down to lower body. Also, at the very end, the follow through phase, the cartwheel was actually completed successfully in the last trial, and he was able to finish the follow through phase, having his hands in the air and completing the entire skill all the way through. So to conclude, I'll be going through a checklist on how to check the athlete and to make sure that the skill is going correctly. So one of the biggest teaching cues with this is going to be kicking the legs over and then swinging the arms up above the body. So the whole weight distribution and weight transfer is going to be kind of a hard concept to understand. So the whole kicking and swinging with momentum with the legs and the hands are going to be what kind of teaches a younger audience on how to do a cartwheel. So the checklist, like I was saying, is going to be looking for weight transfer from lower body, upper body, back down to lower body, and then the actual swinging above the body with the legs, and then swinging with the arms.
Whether the athlete can perform the skill or not is not important. It's the fact that they can understand the actual weight transfer, and then they can build upon that and actually learn how to do the skill successfully from there. Thank you for coming out, and have a great one.